Hi all, welcome back. Today's discussion will be the continuation and the third part of our previous discussion on the topic waste and ecosystem. Part 3. Today we'll be discussing on the functions of ecosystem and the environmental problems.
Ecosystem indicates available solar energy and the efficiency of an ecosystem to trap the same. It gives information about the available essential minerals and their recycling periods. It provides knowledge about the web of interactions and interrelationship among the various population as well as between the population and the abiotic environment. It helps the human beings to know about conservation of resources, protection from pollution, and inputs required for maximum productivity. In the ecosystem, two processes of energy flow and biochemical cycles proceed side by side. In the ecosystem, there are two processes, energy flow and biochemical cycles. Both proceed side by side. The energy flow is unidirectional while the movement of nutrients is cyclic. Food chain, food web, and the trophic levels. Flow of energy, 10% law. Depletion of the ozone layer, biological magnification, mode of waste disposal. All these constitute an ecosystem. Let's talk in detail about the last point in the upcoming slides. Food chain. For example, grass is eaten up by the deer, and the deer is in turn eaten up by the lion, which is nothing but producer, herbivore, and carnivore. This is the link between biotic components in this food chain. What is a food web? The interconnected food chains operating in an ecosystem which establish a network of relationship between various species are termed as a food web. In a food web, one organism may occupy a position in more than one food chain. An organism can obtain its food from different sources and in turn may be eaten up by different types of organisms. Now, let's talk about the 10% law. The 10% law states that only 10% of the energy entering a particular trophic level of organism is available for the transfer to the next higher trophic level. For example, suppose 1000 joules of solar energy is received by green plants, then only 1% of solar energy available on the earth is utilized by the plants. So, 10 joules, that is 1% of 1000 joules, is trapped by the plants and the rest 990 joules of energy is lost to the environment. So plants utilize only 10 joules of energy. Next, only 10% of the 10 joule of energy of the plant is available to the herbivore animal. That is nothing but 1 joule. The rest of the 9 joule is lost to the environment. Just 10% of the 1 joule of energy is utilized by the carnivore animal. Thus, the carnivore animal have only 0.1 joule of energy, while the rest of the 0.9 joule is lost to the environment. This is the 10% law. So, what are the environmental problems? Changes in the environment affect us and our activities. Change the environment around us. For example, depletion of ozone layer and waste disposal. Let's talk about each in detail. Coming to the depletion of ozone layer is largely found in the stratosphere, which is part of our atmosphere from 12 km to 50 km above sea level. This region is called as ozonosphere. Ozone is deadly poisonous at the ground level. Ozone is formed as a result of the following photochemical reaction. The decline of ozone layer was first discovered in Antarctica and was termed as ozone hole in the year 1985. What are the steps to limit damage of ozone layer? Excessive use of chlorofluorocarbon, a synthetic inert chemical, should be reduced. A single chlorine atom can destroy 1 lakh ozone molecules. Now let's talk about biological magnification. The increasing concentration of harmful chemical substances like pesticides in the body of living organism at each trophic level of a food chain is termed as biological magnification. For example, grass has 10 parts per million DDT, deer has 200 parts per million DDT, and lion has 5,000 parts per million DDT. Therefore, the maximum concentration of such chemicals get accumulated in the human bodies. Let's talk about garbage disposal. Industrialization and rising demand of consumer goods have created a major problem in the form of waste and garbage accumulation and its disposal, especially in the urban areas. The disposal of waste should be done in a scientific way. There are different methods of waste disposal. The method to be used depends on the nature of the waste. Some important modes of waste disposal are incineration, burning of waste on high temperature to form ash. This is termed as incineration. Open dumping, a conventional method in which solid wastes are dumped in selected areas of a town. It actually causes pollution. Landfillings, wastes are dumped in low-lying areas and are compacted by rolling with bulldozers. Composting, organic wastes are filled into a compost pit. It is then covered with a thin layer of soil. After about 3 months, the same garbage filled inside the pit changes into the organic manure. Recycling, the solid waste is broken down into its constituent simpler materials. These materials are then used to make new items. Even non-biodegradable solid waste like plastic metals can be recycled. Reuse, a very simple conventional technique of using an item again and again. For example, paper can be reused to make envelopes, etc.
So that's all for today, and we are completing the discussion on the chapter Waste and Management. Hope it was easy to understand. Let's meet again with another topic. Until then, bye-bye.